I don't understand why these males
Off of
keep
the
playing video
data.
games. The data is out here, and the data says that it's not in your best
We'll go
interest
over
to
the
play these
data.
video games,
We'll go over the
right?
data.
And some of the things, like, it completely changes how their brain functions, how their brain is wired. When these males play video games for even just 1 week, they literally become dumber. That's an easier way to put it. They literally become dumber.
Cap.
It's not the same for women, because
Wait, what?
the
Guys, I've done something that I generally don't do because I care about my mental health, right? But I care about you guys, so I'm willing to prioritize my care for you over my mental health. Nevertheless, I've done something. I've gone to the opposite ends of the internet in order to find content that doesn't agree with me, right? In order to pressure test the things that I say up on this platform to ensure that not only am I ahead of the curve, ahead of the game, but then also to ensure that I'm giving you guys the best information to readily impact your lives in a valuable way. Now, the content creator I've gone deep into enemy territories for has over 100,000 subscribers. All right. Now, the title of her video is "Video Games Are the Reason That Guys Can't Get Dates." Now, throughout my life, I've been an avid video game player. All right. And there's been peaks and valleys throughout my life, depending upon what I got going on, how busy that I am, and then also what titles are readily available out for me to consume. Like, for example, when GTA 6 comes out, your boy's going to be playing that. All right. But I look at the young lady's title and I think to myself, damn it, I've waited 10 years for GTA 6 to come out. I won't be able to get any dates in the meantime. So let's go over the content and let's get active. Without further ado. Now, for context, she's actually responding to a comment, and it's a discussion about men playing video games. Let's go.
Actually is not advantageous for me to have a bunch of males here, knowing that the topics that I cover do not cater to males on this channel. So
Males.
it's, it's like this, it's like a double-edged sword, but it's not advantageous to me. So that's why I'm saying, like, you get these types of questions that really don't make any sense, right? These types of questions that are like, I don't understand your question. Like, you just said that it's not good for them. What's so complicated about telling them that it's not good for them and they shouldn't play video games? This is why there's a male loneliness epidemic. This is why there's a whole issue around, like, around males not going to school, not wanting to work, not doing any of these things that they're supposed to be doing.
Because of video games?
Right. And the males are so scared of each other.
What?
They're not wanting to keep each other in check either.
What?
So I don't really know what to tell them. I don't really know what to say to them, but it's like, it's very obvious as far as, like, if and you see the data that the video games is killing them. First of all,
What?
The fact that he's surrounded by other males that play video games already tells me what I need to know, because males that are serious, males that are like a little bit higher on the food chain, will not necessarily be speaking to other males that spend all their time playing video games, right? Because they'll be too busy.
First off, she's using males as opposed to men, which I was thinking is her way to denote between, like, a high-performing man and a low-performing man, but she just said high-performing males. So that completely does away with that. What I often find is that content creators like this will just talk about men and only use the male term in, like, a pejorative way. Whatever. The second thing is that she says something about men not checking men regarding video game playing, and that's actually not true. Things that I've said with on my platform as well is to say that, listen, if in your life right now, if you over prioritize the consumption of anything, any type of media, any type of substance, if you over prioritize the consumption of all of these things over setting your life up, figuring out your purpose, and coming across a high income earning skill, or a purpose-driven skill that may not be high income but gives you a lot of purpose within your life, then you are incorrectly prioritizing the important things within your life. As men, we are judged based off of our usefulness within life, and you cannot derive usefulness through the consumption, the overconsumption of anything. This goes to video game players. This goes to dudes that watch football all day on Sunday. It's a lot different to talk from a position of watching football all day on Sunday, but you make $500,000 a year versus a dude that's in his mama's basement, Cheetos all over his shirt, and complains about his hourly job at the local package factory. Those are far different things, man. But see, the level of conversation that I can come on is in consideration to nuance. Oftentimes, I find these very smooth-brained content creators from the other side of the internet that are hate-filled. They can only get surface level deep. Meanwhile, the evidence is right here. Literally, the richest man on this planet, Elon Musk, is a gamer. And not just any gamer, but a serious gamer. In the action role-playing game Diablo 4, he talks as if he's like top 10 in the world. And then this new one called Path of Exile 2, he plays the shit out of this game as well. And according to him, he's one of the best players in it. Even the busiest man on this planet makes time to unwind with this degree of entertainment. He enjoys it.
The males with money, and they'll be too busy competing against each other, and they'll be too busy competing against other males. You know, they're not gonna, and those other males that they're competing against will be too busy competing against them, right? So they're always focused on like business stuff and competition and things like that, right? So that's the thing. What we're just to kind of reiterate, we're covering this comment that I got on video games because we talked about video games and we talked about the effects of video games on males. And on that live, I just was saying the obvious based off of the data, which is like, I don't understand why these males keep playing video games. The data is out here and the data says that it's not in your best interest to play these video games.
We'll go over the data.
And we kind of went through all of the reasons why it's not in the male's best interest to play these video games, right? In that live. So some of the things like it completely changes how their brain functions, how their brain is wired. When these males play video games for even just 1 week, they literally become, I don't want to seem too harsh, but they become dumber. That's an easier way to put it. They literally become dumber.
Cap.
It's not the same for women because
wait, what?
We don't really get a lot of dopamine when we play video games. We don't get as much dopamine, right? The males get a ton of rewards firing off in their brain when they do things like play video games, which is why, one of the main reasons why they should stay away from video games. I like literally, it's like they can watch me play video games as a woman. You can watch me play, but you can't play because you can't handle it. Like if you can't handle it, it's like children. When you're like, I always tell women, like if you're gonna deal with these males, you're gonna have to think about these males as children.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was actually gonna get this bad. By the way, sinister content like this is why we can watch content like a Pop the Balloon and we see that the women up on that show, some of the women have such a negative perception of men playing video games. It's due to 100K subscriber YouTube channels just like this one. But this woman had the audacity to fix her lips and to say that, listen, women can play video games, but men, they'll go through like a week of playing and they're dumber because of it. But us as women, because we're intellectually superior, we can control the amount of dopamine hitting our eyes. Therefore, we can handle it, but males cannot. And notice she keeps talking about the data. I'd love to bring it up right now, but I want to hear more of what she has to say first. Let's go.
Because it's like dealing with a child, literally. Wow. You're going to have to do almost the impossible. Like you're going to have to think of them as children while treating them as grown-ups because they're not children and they should know better, but they're so devolved that they don't, right? So it's like you think of them as children.
This is misandry.
But then you have to still treat them as adults because it's like they think like children, right? Wow. So that's the thing. Okay. So CB says, I find that men tend to become obsessed with video games. They tune out everything, even their children. Oh yeah, that's the main issue, is they get addicted to it. Addiction was one of the things that we covered in the last live as one of the main reasons why these males should not be playing video games, because they get addicted to it. Literally, because of how much of a reward their brain gives them when they play video games, like the hormones and like everything firing off in their brain, they get addicted to the video games. So in layman's terms, they can't handle it. It's too much for them. They can't handle it. It's like children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't give them too much chocolate. They can't handle it. They fly off the walls. They start yelling everywhere, this and that. You know what I mean? Like, their body they can't handle it. They literally can't handle it. They get addicted to it. And that was one of the things that we were talking about. Yeah.
It's amazing to me to think that women like this have followers on the internet where they have the opportunity to influence their community to think like this. Now, if the lady wasn't being so biased, a quick Google search would help her understand the benefits of playing video games irrespective of gender. And those will include problem solving, decision making, hand-eye coordination. The rest are there. Not going to continue on reading them. But even if she wants to refute a Google search, there's easily findable research data and articles that go over the positive benefits of video games. Title of this research study back in 2022, video gaming may be associated with better cognitive performance in children. A study of nearly 2,000 children found that those reported playing video games for 3 hours per day or more performed better on cognitive skill tests involving impulse control and working memory compared to children who never played video games before. And personally, I credit video games with a lot of my ability to make good decisions or problem solve. And maybe it's less so today with the easiness of these modern day games, but back in the day, like, in order to progress some of these puzzles and shit, and there wasn't the internet in order to find out the answers to these questions, but in order to solve these questions, right, or the problem within the game, it required a lot of cognitive ability. I would understand her way more if it came from the perspective of men that overconsume video games, because yes, then we can have a conversation, but she's not even talking about that. She's saying, as soon as they pick up the controller, oh, me man, dumb, can't focus on anything anymore. Oh.
Facts Don't Care says exactly they should be running away from video games. They should literally be running for the hills away from video games. They shouldn't be playing video games. Like, it's not made for you, sir. Literally, the only
it's made for women
group that can play video games is women. We can play video games because we don't get addicted to video games. It's not a big deal. Like, if we're off one day, we want to play video games, we can do that. If we want to watch anime, we can do that. And we do everything. We're just like more circular in nature, right? Right? It's like, I watch anime, I play video games. Like I got like the little posters here. And then on the other side, look at all my degrees and licensures, my graduate, you know what I'm saying? So, but this is not.
This is so crazy. Yet one more example why men don't respect your degrees. Just because you have degrees and licensures doesn't make you any more intelligent. And in fact, we see many of these women leverage from a position of power their education. Meanwhile, the things that they say are just flat out wrong.
The male. This is not the male. The male species can't pull this off. You know what I mean? Like, the male species, they can't do that. You know, they'll sit there and get addicted to these video games and sit there and play these video games all day. Right? It doesn't make any sense. You know, it's supposed to be horrific. Like a hobby, a fun hobby. And that's what I themed. This is my office at home. And so I themed my little office with like some of like the things that I enjoy watching and stuff like that right here. And then on the other side, you can kind of see all of these like accolades. I have one more degree coming. So I'm saving a spot right there for it. But the males can't.
Where's my I'm a PhD on the soundboard, RIP to Kevin. But these are the women that hated Kevin. And no wonder that they hated Kevin. They only posture positions from an uneducated position. Meanwhile, while positioning that they are of higher level of cognitive ability or thinking. Meanwhile, their ideas or their biases are entrapped by the bitterness of their failed relationship.
They can't do this stuff. So it's not made for them. You shouldn't play video games. It's as simple as that. And I told women that are with males, right? Because we try to be as inclusive as possible in this channel, but I'm not for marriage. I'm so sorry. Like sometimes I get like subscribers that like, I don't know what they want me to say, something that is just like, I don't really believe in it. I can't say it because it's like, I don't believe in marriage. I feel like it's a stupid contract. I'm not going to lie to you, you know?
Shut up. Please ignore everything that she's saying. No matter what it is that you're consuming, it has to come in moderation. And the moderation can be predicated off of the things that are happening or going on within your life. Now, I will say, and this is especially when I do consultation for young men that are asking me for advice on how to do better in life, when we do the mathematics of how much time within a week are they dedicated towards consuming any type of entertainment, not just video games, usually it's way more than what should be allowed for the stage of life that they are in, which helps me understand that for some men out there, it is an issue. But the way that she frames this argument just demonstrates her damn ignorance. I don't know what school will be proud of her graduating from their ranks with these ideas. Like, does it come from an accredited school? This is absurd. This is against my better judgment, but let's just keep going on. Let's see if we can learn anything else.
Oh, okay. Additional degrees. Congrats. Thanks. Yeah. It's probably going to be my last one for a while because it just takes so long to get. It's like so much work, but it's the one of the higher ones. So I'm saving a spot for it. So we multitask, you know, and so many women that I've met, that's what they, you know, we're just better at it. You know, it could be degrees. It could be work. It could be like cleaning the house. When I tell you like, I don't know how women do it because I live by myself and I'm cleaning every day almost.
Okay.
Every day there's something I have to clean. There's something I have to, and it's just me. And every time I'm cleaning, I'm like, how? Because I can't stand for things to not be like where I want them to be. Like, so I wake up, I make my bed and everything. And every day there's something to clean. That's why I think married women are nuts. The one that like stay there cooking and cleaning, insane because it's so much work. Not to mention that they're not doing it only for themselves. There's like a male there. And then if they have kids, there's kids there. I could not do it. You know, so women, we're able to multitask. We're able to do several things at once. We can handle video games.
This is so
Actually,
crazy.
Video games, really, we're the only ones that should be playing it. It's meant for us because we can actually handle it like adults, right? Like it's supposed to be for, like we can categorize it appropriately. Males can't do that. They'll get addicted to the video games. They'll sit there playing it all day. They'll neglect their kids. They'll neglect the wife. They're not going to help you with cooking and cleaning. They already don't help you with cooking and cleaning, regardless of if they're playing video games or not. Okay. They just become more they're already, okay, I'm trying not to be too mean and too graphic on YouTube. They're degenerates. I'm sorry, but they just become more useless. You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes an issue where it's like, okay, if you can't handle it and you know you can't handle it, why are you still doing it?
Guys, I can't watch this crap any longer. I've done my part. I've done my work. I've gone into enemy territory in order to try to understand. Now, what I will say is that I come at the end of this conversation now knowing that at least in this conversation, we're correct. But I guarantee you this, if this was me up here saying the exact same things against women without any science or data within my talking points to back up the things that I am saying, I would have been long removed from the platform. But this is where we are at legitimately. See, I'm for the truth. I'm for healthy relationships, but they put me on a Department of Homeland Security watch list when I'm for all of these things. Meanwhile, they allow mongrels like this, demon women like this, to be masquerading as educated and influencing others into hate. It's sick, sad, pathetic, as well as deplorable, and helps me understand more so this conversation of the man versus bear debate. That's why it was so confusing to so many men when they saw so many women saying, well, you know, I choose the bear. It's because we as men do not understand the information that hits their eyes and the influencers that influence them into pure and utter cockamamie bullshit. That has been your video. I got nothing else for you. I'm about to go soak in a warm bath and just wash the dirtiness of bullshit up off of my body. I can't take any more of this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content here today. Probably not. This is probably going to get demonetized for hate speech, even though I'm not the one that's saying it. But, you know, it's just par for the course up on YouTube, all right? It just is what it is. Nevertheless, drop me your comments down below. Are you guys gamers? I'll just say this at the end of the video. Best video game of all time, Final Fantasy VII. If you disagree with me, you're never a gamer. All right? Nevertheless, hopefully you guys enjoyed the content here today. And last but not least, if you want to join my men's self-development community, we are not hate-filled like the stuff over there. We're all about advancing men forward. We have a specific focus on wealth building going on into the future, finding your purpose, enhancing your masculinity, your health, wellness, as well as fitness. But again, a major focus onto your financial fitness, your financial education. So if you're interested, click the link down below, beam up, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace!